Postal Service. Priority you.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage and Rocket Companies. Last year, we saw historically low mortgage interest rates. What you may not know is that interest rates are already starting to increase, and it's likely that trend is only going to continue. Our team of experts is standing by to help you save before rates go up. Don't look back and wish that you had taken action. Call 833-8ROCKET or visit rocketmortgage.com.
Rocket. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states and MLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
For years, Callie-Ann Phelps has been singing about Phelps Chevrolet.
Phelps Chevrolet is the one for you. Low prices, service too. See the big dealer right away. Carolina's finest, Phelps Chevrolet.
And you'll agree with what Skylar Phelps has to say.
Nobody beats Phelps Chevrolet's prices. Nobody.
The name you can depend on. Phelps Chevrolet.
Get you one.
Find new roads with Chevrolet. Then come find yours at Phelps Chevrolet in Greenville.
If you love the food at Villa Verde, and hey, who doesn't? Now Villa Verde makes it even easier for you to order takeout. Tell us about it, Jay.
If you go to myvillaverde.com, you can order online, and we'll have it ready for you to go. Plus, you can pick it up at either one of our locations. No waiting in line to pay, and no waiting at all. Just pick it up and go. With online ordering from myvillaverde.com, or from our mobile app, plus even from our Facebook page. Villa Verde, now with 2 Greenville locations to serve you. Villa Verde, a platform for good.
A car wash experience like no other is here at the new Tommy's Express. You'll enjoy a gentle belt conveyor ride through our bright, inviting wash as luscious foams and soft cloths treat your car like new. After a final rinse, wax, and blow dry for a beautiful spot-free shine in just about 3 minutes, help yourself to our free vacuums and mat washers. We're Tommy's Express.
Tommy's Express Wash, now open on the corner of Greenville Boulevard and Red Banks Road in Greenville.
Spring is a great time to plant flowers, trees, and bushes. When planting your landscape, please keep in mind that you should never plant anything within 3 feet of a gas, electric, or water meter. The same thing applies if you have an electric transformer in your yard, except keep plants 8 feet clear of the front in case crews need access during a storm or an outage. Always remember to call 811 at least 3 business days before you dig to avoid underground lines. This important safety message is from your neighbors at Greenville Utilities.
Wait up. Papa John's has a new stuffed crust. Oh, we did it. All our tweets, DMs, and carrier pigeons worked. This ain't just stuffed crust. This is Papa John's crust. Stuffed.
Hey, Pirate fans, order the new Epic Stuffed Crust One-Topping Pizza for only $12. The new Epic Stuffed Crust Pizza is the MVP move for game day or any day. Place your order online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, the official pizza of the ECU Pirates.
Hi, I'm Annalie Newhoff.
And I'm Rob Campbell.
And we are with CopyPro. We have been locally owned and operated here in Eastern North Carolina for almost 50 years. CopyPro is the leader in office technology.
Does your business struggle with keeping printing costs low or producing professional documents? Here at CopyPro, total customer satisfaction is our #1 priority.
We have a variety of solutions to help reduce your printing expenses and make your business more productive. Call us today at 1-800-682-6558 or online at copypro.net.
CopyPro, we are the professional office systems people.
Have you ever seen those exotic aquariums like the guys do in Las Vegas on television? You ever thought about having one of these aquariums in your business? It's more affordable than you think. This is Hal Pruitt with rentafishtank.com. We can make having an aquarium in your business turnkey with no work, cleaning, or hassles for you. Rentafishtank.com creates a relaxing atmosphere and keeps children occupied. Rentafishtank.com already services many dental, pediatric, and doctor offices, plus hospitals and senior living centers. Check us out at rentafishtank.com.
Let us help you get back to business. This is Donald Stocks and Justin Judge of PIP of Eastern North Carolina. We're ready to assist your business with branded PPE. Would you like face masks with your logo? We can do that. Plus custom social distancing signage. Now is the time to ramp up your marketing efforts. Whether it's cutting edge, contactless, touchless marketing, or traditional direct mail, we can do it all. We are PIP of Eastern North Carolina.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the pirate nation. This is Eastern North Carolina's longest-running sports radio call-in show. The Brian Bailey Show is on the air. The Brian Bailey Show on Pirate Radio is brought to you by
Bostic Sugg Furniture, East Coast Grading, Angus Grill, Greenville Auto World, Papa John's, Pepsi, Seared Chop House, Taft and Hagler, and by Tiebreakers.
And now, here's Brian Bailey.
Okay, happy Monday, everybody. Welcome into our show. Spring football about to wrap up at East Carolina. The spring scrimmage is what we're going to call it on Saturday because we're a little confused about whether we can go or not. But I think the media is invited, so we'll definitely be there. And it's going to be a lot of, it always is a lot of fun. Spring football games, spring football scrimmages. We were at the scrimmage this past Saturday, and the defense shines. We've got the defensive coordinator in here, Blake Harrell, to join us. We've got Donnie Kirkpatrick slated for next week. And I told Coach when he walked in, I said, you know what happens whenever the defense has a big scrimmage? The very next scrimmage, the offense usually shines. So you got your work cut out for you now.
No question. So you always got to, guard against that and think, hey, you just because you had a good day, you got to turn around and play the next one pretty well, which is no different than the fall. So if you have a good game Saturday, you got to bounce right back and be ready for the fall on Saturday.
Blake Harrell, defensive coordinator at East Carolina, is our guest. We'll take your questions or comments on our Facebook Live page. If you want to get some of those in, we'll get those to Coach Harrell. But really, when you looked at how your defense performed, when you look at this defense and how they performed on Saturday, can you compare it to when you first got here and when you started taking over the defense?
Well, I think it's night and day, just the confidence the kids have in the system. And there's some carryover finally for those players that they have a guy that's a system, so to speak, that's going to be around for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And now all the terminology is the same. Those kids are communicating and playing really fast. So that makes your job as a coach enjoyable.
And the key on defense is you don't want guys to have to think.
Right.
They've got to get their assignments and you just go 100 miles per hour and not have to think about anything.
That's it. So there's the checks and the communication. That's easy for them now. They snap right to that, and now they can just go play.
Yeah, and you got a young defensive line. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a bit. But really, when you think about defensive football, and I used to be the type that loved to see offense, loved to see points. But as I get older, I guess it's old school stuff. I love a slobber knocker type defensive battle where every yard's hard to come by, and big defensive stands, and that's, you can tell that defense is probably more so than offense as far as the emotions of the game go.
No question, and I'm with you. I like to see those type of battles too. We're getting it. Every yard's hard to get, and you want to make sure you play with energy and enthusiasm, and that's what Coach Houston preaches for our team. And defensively, we'll make sure we carry that out.
Blake Harrell, defensive coordinator at East Carolina, is our guest. We'll take our first commercial break. We'll come back again. Questions and comments from our Facebook Live page. Plus, we'll go over the first scrimmage of the year. Get you set for Saturday's second scrimmage, the season finale for spring football. That's coming up next here on the Brian Bailey Show.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
East Coast Grading and Utilities is your source for clearing, hauling dirt, and concrete work. East Coast Grading and Utilities handles all sewer and water issues as well.
I'm David Vaughn. Whether putting in a new subdivision or helping you with any and all of your drainage problems, I can get the job done. Call me at 531-7494.
No job is too big or too small. East Coast Grading and Utilities. Friends helping friends. 531-7494 for East Coast Grading and Utilities.
Save during Bostic Sugg Furniture's Spring Styles event. Freshen things up, make a statement, and make it exciting. Save on new looks, new colors, new styles. We have so many beautiful ways to update your home. Explore our 35,000 square foot showroom. From name brands like Bassett, La-Z-Boy, Rowe, Kincaid, and Restana, get up to 15% off plus 6 months special financing, or get special financing for 48 months. Step up your style right now at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
At Tiebreakers, we admit we have a bit of a problem. People love our wings so much that they're starting to sell their home TVs just so they can watch all the sporting events here at Tiebreakers. Seriously, we're glad you love our hand-breaded, hand-cut boneless wings that much, but we really need you to go home at the end of the night. It's okay, we'll be here tomorrow. And when you come back, bring a friend with you. For great food, great friends, and cold beer, we'll see you at Tiebreakers. Tiebreakers, break the chain, eat local. Hey Pirate fans, it's time to get that yard done right with the new John Deere mower from Quality Equipment. Our premium lawn care lineup is what every homeowner needs this spring. A John Deere will change the way you mow with easy-to-use attachments, effortless steering, and intuitive controls. Right now, save up to $700 on X300, X500, and X700 series mowers. Learn more at QualityEquip.com and get quality done right. Offer ends 10/29/21. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Chico's Mexican Restaurant is the home of the best margaritas. Grab your amigos and head to Chico's every Tuesday for the Gulp of Mexico, a huge 46-ounce lime margarita for only $6.99. On Thursdays, relax and enjoy half-price pitchers of Chico's house margaritas. Choose from lime, strawberry, blood orange, raspberry, or peach. For Mexican food and fun, it's got to be Chico's Mexican Restaurant in downtown Greenville and online at chicosrestaurant.com. Chico's, where the fiesta never ends.
Pirate Radio.
Actual pirate.
Obviously. Duh. The voice of the pirate nation. You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back on this Monday as we continue on. Blake Harrell, Pirate Defensive Coordinator, live in the studio with us. Pirates with their first big scrimmage of the spring this past week, and as we said, it was a big scrimmage for the defense. 12 tackles behind the line of scrimmage in the particular scrimmage, and I think that really shows the aggressiveness of what you're trying to do.
Yeah, we talked to our players about being aggressive, playing chin out over your toes, getting downhill, and getting stops. And tackles for loss puts the offense behind the sticks, puts the pressure on them, and I think the percentages go down of them actually putting a drive together when you get a tackle for a loss or a sack on a drive.
And you really want to stop the run every time you go out there, and you were able to do that Saturday.
That's it. I think from every game plan at the top of our list for playing to win is stop the run, and that's what we focus on. That's what we build our defense around.
On Saturday, 37 carries, 57 yards, a yard and a half average. And when you guys put it up on a chart, what's the average you want to keep it to?
You would like to be in 3 yards.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Of all those stats, though, you just rattled off there. The one run that stands out in my mind is the Keaton Mitchell run there in the first drive. He had a really nice run and put it in the box for them. And we got to do a better job, make sure that doesn't get out. So we got to get that fixed in our run defense. But other than that, pretty solid.
And Coach Houston last week on our show was talking about Keaton and how he's really brought the level of his play up. So he was good last year. Don't get me wrong, he was really good. Right. But I think he kind of got lost in the shadows with Rajay, how good Rajay was doing. But still, he was.
Those guys are stressing the defense, and that makes the defense better. Whether it's Keaton, Rajay, the receivers, Holton, all those guys are really playing at a high level, which forces the defense to play at a high level as well. So
yeah, I was going to say that was my next question. When you're facing an offense like East Carolina has, because you got a veteran quarterback back there, you got 2 outstanding young running backs. I mean, you've got an offensive line that's getting better, I think, and the tight end position. That first drive the other day in the scrimmage, he had a couple of big catches, didn't he?
Yeah, the tight end played really well for them, and he was the guy, kind of the go-to target on third down there that got him across the midfield and put him in scoring position.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that in looking at offenses, it's probably a second or third, maybe even a fourth look as far as what they're looking at. And it's, if he's got time back there, it's hard to keep up with 4 of those guys on defense, isn't it?
Correct. You may take away Tyler Snead, and all of a sudden the tight end gets loose. So you got multiple threats and problems you got to deal with defensively, so that makes it a little tough.
On your side, Tyler's such a great player, and obviously he's a key to Donnie Kirkpatrick's offense. How do you try to slow him down, and how will teams coming up this fall try to slow him? Do people double team him?
We just talking about that this morning. I mean, Tyler's he's a competitor, first of all. Yeah. Love everything he does and what he brings to our football team, from not only a football player, but the locker room, pre-practice, and just the energy he brings. But you got to always know where Tyler's at. Was the pass game, run game, play action, neckets, boots, wherever it may be. And then if you want to double them, you can. But our offense has so many weapons that leaves somebody else free, so you got to be careful with that.
Yeah, I was interested to find out what you would do to try to negate him, and what teams down the line, because Appalachian State's on the clock. I mean, you guys are going to be facing the Mountaineers in Charlotte before we know it, and he's a big part of that Pirate offense. He really is.
Yeah, thankfully we don't have to defend him. He's with us in Pirate Nation here.
3 sacks on Saturday's scrimmage, and your defensive line is young, but they really grew up in a hurry last year, didn't they?
They're starting to come along, and I think with every snap, and we talked about this in the fall, every snap they take, they get even better. And Coach Dow's doing a great job up front of pushing those guys and making it simple so they can play fast, and you're starting to see those guys come along.
Let's talk about some of the individual efforts in the scrimmage on Saturday. Miles Berry had the interception. We were laughing about this beforehand, but it was one of those situational deals where you put the offense in a bind. The offense had the ball. They said at the half-yard line. That ball was on the goal line. That's the closest I've ever seen a snap in all the football I've ever watched. And obviously, I think it was even on the line, so it wouldn't happen like that in a game. But the point was they wanted to back the offense up to see if they could get out of the end zone. And as you were saying, on that particular play, they almost had a big play.
Yeah, so you obviously take during practice and through your scripts, and you put kids in different situations. And once you get to the scrimmage, some of those situations arise. And sometimes it's, in a scrimmage, it's a little bit tougher because you don't know exactly what's coming, when it's going to come up, or that kind of sort of thing. So put the ball back there at the half-yard line, which I would like to start with the ball there every time.
I was going to say, that's one of the rules for this Saturday scrimmage. We're going to start at the half-yard line every time.
Coach Kirkpatrick may disagree, but they did a good job of executing some things. I think a penalty backed them up, or basically we started the play and got us out of the jail card, kind of so to speak, there, and got them in the second down, I guess, the third play of the series there. But brought pressure and got somebody in Holton's face and got a little tip ball, and we like to say tip balls go for touchdowns, and it did. So nice job by Miles, catching that and putting it in the box. And if we don't do, bring the pressure, we got to make sure we do a little bit better job in the back end of getting the receiver cut off and don't lose our leverage.
Because you saw on tape, it could have been bad for the defense.
Yes, sometimes if you don't get your job done, it can be certainly bad. So we got to make sure we clean up all our fundamentals in all areas. So that's something we got to continue to improve on, and we got a week of spring ball left that we can do that.
Shira Wilson came through with the tip. Miles Berry got the pick, and the interesting part about it was when he gets the pick six, not only the other 10 guys on defense celebrated, but all of a sudden the whole defensive squad was in the end zone. You guys didn't get a penalty for that, did you?
No, I think Coach Houston's exact words to him a couple weeks ago was if they didn't go celebrate on a score, that he was going to run them. So they make sure they celebrate now. But no, and we put that on the kids too. Just, hey, enjoy being out there, enjoy each other and playing with each other. And we call it having energy, having juice. And one of us make a play, we all make a play. And that's what those kids are doing a great job of, enjoying playing the game, enjoying being at ECU and part of the ECU program.
And that comes into play when you get into games, because you're going to face, all kinds of adversity, game in and game out. And when you've got guys flying around and you hear it so much, Coach Godwin preaches it in baseball that, you're playing for one another, you're playing for each other. And it's a bonding and a love of the sport and a love for your teammates. And really when you get in one of those tough games, like last year's Tulsa game, I mean, everybody has to come together and come back home and realize that some bad things happen that shouldn't have, but still you got to bounce back and keep going.
Yeah, we don't want to play for, hey, the other sideline, what's their deal over there. We want to play for each other, and that's what we really stress to our guys, and they're doing a nice job of it.
Elijah Robinson had a fumble recovery. I think I remember when that happened, but some guys just seem to be around the football, don't they?
Yeah,
got some like that.
He done a nice job scooping that thing up, and had somebody, I think Justin Hainsworth calls it in there, so did a nice job of creating turnover there.
Who was it? I'm trying to go through my notes and see. Last year on the defensive line with the 3 fumble recoveries, he was like 5th in the nation.
Elijah Morris.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, got right there, Elijah Morris.
Always the great story of Elijah Morris from 60 to 90.
Yeah, that's it.
You recognize his name, but he's doing a great job and being solid and had a good spring as well.
That's good. And really, when you look at the interior line and how young they are, they've got to stay healthy, and so far they have.
They have, and been a good spring for those guys to grow, and I think with a week of spring ball left, we got to even keep pushing them that much further because they continue to grow up even more. So it's been good.
Gerard Stringer also comes to play as far as the stats go individually. He had 4 tackles for losses for 19 yards.
It's nice to have Gerard back, and he's been an older guy out there that steps in and is playing like an older guy, so that's been good. He missed the fall with an Achilles. And just having him back out there and having Jaira out there, you feel really good at the stand position.
How hard is it to come back from an Achilles injury?
It's not necessarily, it's a physical thing, obviously.
Right.
But mentally, too, just those things can work on you. And he's doing a nice job putting that behind him and working through the spring.
Yeah, and some kids probably react differently, right? With injuries like that. I mean, you got to somehow erase that memory with something like that.
Well, you do. And I think, once you get out there and have some success and you fly around and make a few plays, that helps erase that little memory, too, as well as the injury.
Juan Powell had 5 tackles on Saturday.
Jawan came along really nice on Saturday. He'd been, going through the spring and kind of shined on Saturday and took it to a new level, and he's got a chance to be a difference maker for us.
And a guy that Coach Houston was very high on last week, and in fact, he let him talk to the media last week. That was DJ Ford from North Carolina, the transfer, and he likes his maturity. He likes the way he helps the other players out, and he had a lot of good things to say about him.
Yeah, DJ's had a really good spring, and it's really nice to add an older guy to the mix and be an addition to our defense. And he plays like an older guy, tackles like an older guy, and makes a lot of plays, and really excited about him and what he can bring to our defense this fall.
How hard is it when you get guys, because this whole transfer portal and guys, the grass is greener on the other side, guys leaving left and right and coming in, but when guys come in, they're coming in to play immediately, but the realistic side of this thing is they have to earn their shot. They have to come in and I think deep down they listen to the coaches and say, okay, I got to earn my shot. But I've done everything else, and I want to come here. I want to play right away. But it's a weird deal, and it's going to get weirder because of so many kids transferring.
Right. The portal is I don't know if it's great for college football or great for college athletics in general.
I think it's terrible for college athletics. It's just if you're unhappy, there should be, you made the decision to go to this school, and if things aren't working out your way, then you should have an option to go somewhere, but you can't just flip a switch and go somewhere else. You sit out a year and,
I'm not sure which way it's going to go, but I know for the time being, it is what it is, and we got to keep moving forward with it, and we got to learn to adjust with it. And I think, as we bring players in, we got to make sure they fit our program, fit ECU, and then once they get here, we got to make sure that, hey, they actually earn their stripes and they go about it the right way and they fit our stuff. And to me, as a defensive coordinator, I got to make sure, hey, when DJ Ford comes in, we got to make sure our scheme, we put him in successful positions to go make plays, and then we get the best out of his ability.
And it's also a fact that you've got young players that are trying to earn their spots, and then you bring an older player in, and in some instances they're knocked down a little bit, and they have to kind of adjust to that too.
Right, and I think
they'll be in the transfer portal.
It humbles everybody in the situation, and it just kind of holds everybody in check. And I think we always say competition at each position brings out the best in everybody. So that's what we try to do with that.
Blake Harrell is in the studio with us, East Carolina defensive coordinator. We'll take a commercial break right now. We'll come back. Got a couple of questions and comments on our Facebook Live page, so keep those coming in. I'll get them to the coach. We got the big scrimmage coming up on Saturday to wrap up spring football. Back with more with Blake Harrell after this.
Hi, this is Jeff Charles, and this is a Pirate Radio Sports Break presented by Ron Ayers Motorsports, north of the airport on Highway 11 in Greenville. Former Pirate golfer Harold Varner III finished in a tie for second place at the RBC Heritage and pocketed $631,900. Stuart Sink won the event. Eastern North Carolina's Bam Adebayo hit the game-winning shot as Miami beat Brooklyn 109-107. Bam had 21 points. The Orioles dropped a heartbreaking 1-0 decision to the Texas Rangers in 10 innings. The Nationals lost to the Diamondbacks 5-2. The Rays got by the Yankees 4-2. The Braves crushed the Cubs 13-4. Oakland edged Detroit 3-2. The Tigers have lost 22 of their last 23 games to the A's. Yankees veteran Jay Bruce is retiring at the age of 34. He played 14 years in the big leagues and made 3 All-Star teams. Bruce hit 319 career home runs. This has been a Pirate Radio Sports Break.
0% alcohol, 0 grams of sugar, full Budweiser flavor. For all the moments you want a beer and need to stay on your game. Budweiser Zero. 0 alcohol, 0 compromise.
UBE and PirateWear.com are proud to offer the Pirate Nation its largest inventory ever. Brand new Adidas is arriving daily, along with Under Armour, Columbia, and Russell Athletic. UBE is loaded with cargo, and new items are being added daily to PirateWear.com. Be sure to check out our children's store, The Crow's Nest, for all of your young pirates. UBE and PirateWear.com, an ECU tradition for 50 years. Go Pirates!
Spring is a great time to plant flowers, trees, and bushes. When planting your landscape, please keep in mind that you should never plant anything within 3 feet of a gas, electric, or water meter. The same thing applies if you have an electric transformer in your yard, except keep plants 8 feet clear of the front in case crews need access during a storm or an outage. Always remember to call 811 at least 3 business days before you dig to avoid underground lines. This important safety message is from your neighbors at Greenville Utilities.
In studio today with Dr. Shondell Jones from Kinetic Physical Therapy. Dr. Jones, you guys can help people with any aches or pains.
Yep, we sure can. As it's getting warmer, we know more people are outside, wanting to be more active, and we know spring sports are in play as well. And so if you've got a knee or ankle injury, whether it's just a strain or a sprain, we've got specialists there to treat the weekend warrior and the athlete. For more information, visit us online at kptonline.com or call us at 364-2806.
You're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the pirate nation. Go Pirates! Arg!
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back to our show on this Monday. We're taking your questions and comments on our Facebook Live page. John Moody writes in, says, what are you seeing on tape from Appalachian State that's concerning right now? How much are you looking at App State?
Yeah, we certainly are. We certainly checked them out a few different times, and one of our analysts, he's already broke them down really well. Did a good job with that, but they run the outside zone and do a really, really nice job of it. Their offensive linemen can move. They got 2 tailbacks back that are really good. The transfer quarterback from Duke, Chase Bryce, is a gunslinger back there, and then they got some receivers. One that didn't play last year that sat out, and then the top receiver, number 5, is back into the boundary, and they got speed with 14. So they got some offensive weapons that is certainly a challenge.
Is that an RPO type thing they do, or are most of their plays called?
No, they're going to run a little RPO.
Yeah.
They'll play action, throw the neckeds and the boots off of that as well, and then the jump balls to 5 and let him go get it. So, they're a balanced attack, and they do a good job what they do up there.
Again, it's an interesting phenomenon that we're in right now because we don't know to this day how many fans are going to be allowed to go to Charlotte. So we don't know if it's going to be, a really nice crowd. I would think in regular time, I don't think we'd get a sellout in Charlotte on a Thursday night, but we get, a lot of fans. App State's going to bring some.
Yeah, I would think it'd be a great atmosphere and a great game. Just East Carolina versus App State in Charlotte on a Thursday night.
Yeah,
and what better place to be?
First chance to see some college football. Yeah, high school football will have started a week before, or 2 weeks before, and then we get a chance for East Carolina and App State on a Thursday night. But that's going to be. You guys know travel plans? You guys go up like on Wednesday and do a walkthrough? Or teams don't do walkthroughs anymore, but maybe in this case you might because it's an NFL stadium.
Yeah, I would imagine we would leave on Wednesday, possibly see the stadium on Wednesday evening. Depending on what the plans are there. I kind of stay away from those things and just prepare for Thursday night.
As a coach, do you like when you go somewhere different and do a walkthrough, or it's kind of I can remember back in the day when I first got here. I mean, if you remember the 1984 schedule when it was loaded with all these top 10 teams. Miami of Florida came with Jimmy Johnson, and we on a Friday afternoon we got a chance to interview Jimmy Johnson about the East Carolina game. I mean, that was to me that was one of the thrills of my whole broadcasting career. But teams just don't do that anymore. They just don't like to. They like to get to the hotel and start meeting, don't they?
Right, get to the hotel, relax, get off your feet, and just kind of get back in your usual routine there.
Well, what will you guys do as far as App State goes? As soon as you finish spring practice, then how much will you work on Appalachian State, and when you guys get back together with the start of fall camp?
Yeah, so once spring ball finishes up, obviously you get back to recruiting. And, I shouldn't say you get back to, you're always recruiting, but that's kind of becomes your main focus. But we'll also at some point focus on our first 3 or 4 opponents of next fall, and maybe Navy as well, since it's a little bit different. But you certainly do look ahead to next fall and start preparing for those guys, and App State first.
You're talking about recruiting a little bit. How frustrating has it been, and I asked Coach Houston this last week, that you can't go to a high school game? And the fact that they're playing in the spring, which is really bizarre anyway, but, you know, we've had some playoff games this past week, the first week of the playoffs. There were some really good athletes out there, you know, and you can't go see them play.
Yeah, it'd be really nice to drive right down the road.
Right.
See a couple of our top guys and see them play, and just, you know, get out and see a game.
Right.
I mean, we all like to do that at some point.
Yeah.
Even as coaches, we like to go be fans and hang out and see a football game.
That's what Coach Houston says. Conley was playing right down the street and not allowed to go. So it's just really extreme. But June 1st, everything goes pretty much back to normal recruiting-wise? Is that the word? That's the plan? Yeah. So that'll be good. And they'll have, 7-on-7? You guys have a 7-on-7 camp.
Yeah, we'll have Beast of the East in June, and big 7-on-7 camp for us. We have some individual camps as well, lineman camp and junior Pirates camp. So should be a full month, and we're excited just to, you know, get guys on campus, whether it's prospects or junior Pirates, and be around football.
All right, you got a Tuesday practice coming up, a Thursday practice. Friday, you're going to go through the walkthrough. Saturday, you've got this scrimmage. What are some of the things you'll work on this week with your defense?
Well, the last 2 weeks has really been like, hey, we're going to install first of the week, maybe put a couple new things in, coverages, pressures, fronts, stunts, whatever it may be. And it's really like a game week. You know, go practice on Tuesday, make sure we have a great physical practice, competing with the offense, clean it up on Thursday, and then get ready for game day on Saturday. So that'll be our focus this week, and really just putting all of what we've done this spring together and playing our best, you know, ball on Saturday and finishing up the spring in a positive manner.
When you guys look at tape of a practice, I've always been amazed at that because, you know, I understand game, you know, situations and looking at different, you know, X's and O's, but in practice, are you guys looking at drills to see if guys are executing the drill properly that you didn't see when you were out there with the drill?
Right. Well, you want your drill work to carry over to team. And I just tell our guys, hey, the individual drill is just a piece of a group work. Group work is just a piece of the whole team. So you want to see that drill is actually teaching them how to get better in the group work or the team work. And you go back and make sure, hey, we had this mistake in team or we had this mistake in group work. Maybe let's go back to the drill work, see if we got it there. So you did certainly check those things out and make sure you're improving.
How happy are you with your staff right now on the defensive side? Because those guys are good guys.
Yeah, they're doing an awesome job of really, with our players, building relationships and helping those guys grow as young men. You know, all those guys from our GAs to our analysts to our full-time guys are doing a great job of just making East Carolina and our program better.
And you would think, especially after last year not having spring football, because spring football is a little different. You know, the guys understand there's not the carrot of the game at the end of the week, and they know it's a little bit of a grind at times. But spring's different where you go Tuesday, then you're off Wednesday, then you go Thursday. So it's not that type of grind. It's not the grind that you get in August, right? Because that's a grind. When you get that thing going, that's a little more difficult. But you understand at the end of the month, you get a chance to start playing games, and that's why you do all that work.
Right.
But this time of year, so do you like being out there in the spring?
I love it.
Yeah.
You know, I think the players love it too, just getting a chance to get away from, hey, the everyday, you know, back on the grass, in between the white lines with each other, and get a chance to go do what they love, and that's playing football. So that's, you know, and in fact, like you said, you get every other day off or away from the field, so that's kind of a little bit of a breather, and their body's always fresh, so it's been a good thing.
And then after you guys finish spring ball, I guess Big John takes over for a while, and he kind of, you know, molds everybody and gets them ready.
Yeah, so in the wintertime, he kind of molds them into getting stronger and bigger and faster, and obviously in the summertime, he'll mold them back again to what we really want them to be in the fall.
Yeah, they'll come, and that's the one misnomer that I've talked about for years, that you used to think guys came back in August to get in shape. August was meant to get guys in shape. August is meant to get ready for the football season. You're already in shape when you get there. If you're not, you're in trouble.
And no question. So he'll have his hands on them sometime in May and get them ready to make sure they're physically, conditioned, strength-wise, all those things ready to play a football season.
Talk about your playbook a little bit from last year to this year. How much more do these guys know, and how much more is in that playbook from year one to year two?
Yeah, well, we're going to, install a couple new things a day, and I bet we walk into the meetings and, over half the room will recall, hey, yeah, this is this. So that's been so nice that you don't have to spend a ton of time on the install, and they can pick up on it. They already know what it is, and you just kind of coach the finer points of it.
So when you say an install, can you give us an example without giving obviously anything away? But what would something be like, a blitz or a
today
coverage?
Today we'll install our man pressures.
Okay.
We haven't done it at this point. And, will be a nice addition to all our other, pressures and movements and coverage that we have going in. So it's just a chance for us to, in spring ball, you do have that freedom where you don't have to cram it all in at one time. Sometimes in fall camp, it's bang every day you're installing.
Oh, yeah.
In spring ball, you can spread those things out a little bit. We went back and focused on, the fundamentals, developing players, not necessarily plays.
Mm-hmm.
So developing each individual's skill set to make sure that, hey, they're ready to go play and then go play fast, and then just give them a little bit at a time and then go play from there.
And when guys don't understand something, how evident is that when you throw something out there? I mean, if you think you've taught up to here and they've only got up to here, you can see that right away, right?
Yeah, and you got to pull a thumb on that as a coach and as a coordinator and say, hey, what can we handle? What can we do? And make sure that whatever we can, we're doing, we can do it at full speed, because that's what's most important, how we play, how we do things, not what we're doing, but how we do it.
Yeah. Have you had instances in the past where you've been like the mad scientist and you get all this stuff together and you put it in and you're like, they didn't take that too well?
Yeah. Every Sunday or Monday night when you're game planning, this is, you're Googling stuff up, then you get out there in the game field, like, we better cut some of the stuff back. So yeah, that's happened quite a few times.
I tell you what, that's something else. Blake Harrell, defensive coordinator at East Carolina, live in the studio with us. Again, we're taking your questions and comments on our Facebook Live feed. If you have a question or comment about the Pirate defense, you guys will put together a depth chart coming up, a couple of weeks after spring ball, or we have one just ready to go when you guys get back together in August?
Well, that depth chart constantly changes. You have one throughout the spring, and you're moving guys around just to make sure you can try to find your best 11 and put them on the field, or your best 13, 14, 15 guys defensively to play on a Saturday. So that's constantly changing for us. We'll look at it this week, move some guys around, change some guys. Maybe one guy perform better on Saturday than another guy. Then after spring ball, it may adjust again and through the summer, like you said.
When you guys have a good day on defense like you did on Saturday, and then you guys get back together at practice, do the offensive guys kind of give you the wide eye a little bit, and they come back with a little chip on their shoulder? Because it's funny because there's a little chippiness back and forth, but obviously they're all Pirates.
Well, your definition of a good day and my definition of a good day are probably two different things.
Probably so.
I think we have a lot to improve on, and a lot of places we can get a whole lot better.
Yeah.
And we must get a whole lot better. But the best thing about our guys, they do compete, and they'll go at it, whether it's offense, defense, or per position. Our guys compete, and that going back and forth is good. That's good spirits, and it makes each other, brings out the best in each other, makes them compete and push each other.
Coach Houston said it here last week, and he said it a couple of times during his press conferences last week. He said, we'll hit you now.
Yeah.
We'll hit you now. And that's got to mean something to you.
Well, that's important. And I was just taking, the Tyler Snead had a couple of plays where he gets loose and is moving around back there, and we got 11 guys that are chasing, doing a great job in pursuit. And usually in an early scrimmage, you would have to take it and slow the tape down and coach it up and talk about pursuit and pursuit angles. But that's something we don't have. We're doing pretty well right now.
Yeah, that pursuit angle is vitally important, and some of that they learn, but some of that is just a gift, isn't it?
Yeah, it helps if you can run a little faster.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got to have certain tools.
And I do think we, speaking of that, I think we've improved our defensive speed, team speed from last fall, which is, makes it pleasant and makes your coach's job's a lot easier.
Yeah, I bet it does. Blake Harrell, defensive coordinator at East Carolina, our guest. We'll take another commercial break right now. We'll continue on. We'll get you set for that last scrimmage of the season coming up on Saturday and much more with Coach Harrell after this.
First came the PCC location, then came the ECU location on Jarvis Street. Now introducing the newest store at 10th Street at the Food Line near Walmart. It's Angus Grill 3. 3 restaurants featuring all of your favorite burgers and more. They've got your classic Angus, steak burger, brisket burger, black and blue burger, sweet sriracha burger, jalapeno popper burger. You get the idea. Now with 3 options for the best burger in town. Angus Grill at PCC, Angus Grill at ECU, and now Angus Grill at 10th Street in the Food Line Shopping Center. It's Greenville's best burger, times 3.
Hi, I'm Ken Hagler of Taft Hagler. We're proud to be sponsors of the Brian Bailey Show and the Pirate Nation on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. If you've been injured on the job or due to someone else's negligence in an automobile collision, call us at 752-2000 for a free consultation with experienced professionals who care. Go Pirates!
At U.S. Cellular, we see our customers as more than just customers. They're neighbors. When you switch to US Cellular, you can get the new Samsung Galaxy S21 5G for free with no hidden requirements. As a neighbor, you deserve it. US Cellular, America's locally grown wireless. Terms apply. See uscellular.com for details.
This is Brandon Tate, owner and operator of Atlantic Wireless, an authorized agent for US Cellular since 1997. Visit atlanticwireless.com to find the store near you. We go beyond the call.
What's the big deal?
Where can you get pizza, bread twists, specialty chicken, and more for just $5.99 each?
Is it at Domino's?
He hands off hand-tossed pizza and a marble cookie brownie. He's going!
There's a lot of variety on the radio and at Domino's too, where you can
mix and match 2 or more. $5.99 each at Domino's.
2-item minimum. Pan pizza, bone-in wings, and bread bowls will be extra. Ask for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary.
Farmville Flower Basket and Gifts is your hometown shop for gifts and fresh flowers. You can find unique items like Brewmate and apparel by Southern Couture, Simply Southern, and Bella Cotton. The Farmville Flower Basket also has items coming in daily for the spring and summer. Whether it's a gift or a flower arrangement for that special someone, you can find it at Farmville Flower Basket and Gifts. Give them a call today at 753-4217 or stop by their shop on Main Street in Farmville.
Hey, Troy, have you heard about The Place?
No, Jason. What place?
It's The Place. It's Washington's newest restaurant on the waterfront. The Place is located in downtown Washington in the Harbor District with waterfront seating in the back. We're open for bistro-style lunches Tuesday through Saturday from 11 to 2 and elevated comfort-style dinners Thursday through Saturday 5 to 9. Plus, Sundays, we have the best Southern brunch in town.
Man, that's awesome, Jason. The Place sounds like the place to be.
It is. We look forward to seeing you there. The Place in Washington, North Carolina.
Pirate Radio.
East Carolina deserves to go to Omaha. People should be worried about us. We're going to be really good, and I'm not afraid to say it on record.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back as we continue on this Monday, talking Pirate football. East Carolina set for their final spring scrimmage of the season coming up on Saturday, 1 o'clock. Is that right? Did I remember that correctly?
That's
1
it.
o'clock kickoff on Saturday for the spring scrimmage for Pirate football to wrap up the spring. Again, they'll practice Tuesday, Thursday, have a walkthrough on Friday, and then we'll wrap things up on Saturday. Let's go through your depth chart a little bit, and obviously nothing's written in stone, but talk about your defensive line, and we'll go through the linebackers, the defensive backs, but on the defensive line, like what you're looking for, what you hope to see come August, and anybody you're counting on to come in that might be new that might help out a little bit.
Right. Well, I think a couple things that kind of stand out to my mind this spring is Manny Hickman. He's done a nice job up front, playing the field end for us, and had a good spring. And he's coming off the ball better than he ever has, and making some positive plays there. So, and I think he can still even improve. So he's doing a good job with that. We mentioned Elijah Morris inside has had been solid as well. D'Angelo McKinney is another body inside. Then you want to see those young guys continue to progress, whether it's Deontay Johnson or Xavier McGyver or J.V. McCray, keep coming along there. And then at the boundary outside backer, we moved Jeremy Lewis over from tight end.
Yeah, I was going to ask specifically about him because a lot of people know him from playing at South Central. He did so well defensively for South Central, and then when he got moved to tight end, I think he had some productive outings there, but it really, I think he's back where he naturally belongs. Do you think?
Well, he looks natural.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
He's making some plays, and he may not always be right, but as we talked before earlier, he's just playing so hard, and he's quick and fast and can move that he's making plays. So he's been a pleasant surprise over there and been a nice addition to our defense.
And he's the type of player, too, because he has so much pride in Eastern North Carolina, playing here as a high school athlete and coming to East Carolina, and he really wants to really excel.
Yeah, I think he's enjoying it and having a good time and just enjoying being a Pirate and on the defense side of the ball this spring.
I saw Bruce Bivens the other day, and the story with Bruce Bivens, it was 2.5 years ago, I guess it was, when we went up to Newport, Rhode Island, and they always have the big lobster, the big, clam fest, and he would not eat the lobster because it had eyes. And I tried to explain to him that chickens had eyes as well, but he didn't take to that. And so we joke every time we see, and I haven't seen Bruce in a year. And so I walk into the sheets the other day, and he's got his mask on, and I got my mask on, and all I can see is his eyes. And he looks at me and he says, "It's got eyes." And I thought, well, that's Bruce Bivens is the only person who would say that. Is that Bruce? And it was Bruce.
Yeah,
he still thinks about that.
Oh, Bruce. There's no telling what he's thinking about.
But he's hilarious.
Bruce has had a number change, but he's doing a really nice job. I think the new number is bringing it out in him.
What's his new number?
He's number 5 now, and we're going to only allow him to keep that number if he has a good week this week. So that's the pressure I'm going to put on him. I'm telling him it came from you two.
Yeah, yeah, put me on it. Tell him it's got eyes. I don't get him riled up. You tell him that lobster's got eyes.
He just texted me a few minutes ago, so I might text him that back.
Yeah, you should. I just couldn't. You hadn't seen somebody that long, and he's really a funny kid, and really just one of those guys that you get a chance to meet, and once you meet him, you know he's just hilarious, funny, and like I said, I've told Coach this, and I've said this many a time on the air that one of the bad things about this whole COVID situation is that we haven't been able to go to practice, we haven't been able to interview some of the players, and we haven't been able to do some of the features like for the Coach Houston show, because that coach's show is basically to sell the Pirate program, to the fans and maybe to potential recruits and for the fans to get to know some of these guys, and it was really difficult last year.
Yeah, I can only imagine that part and that piece of it. Is we have so many good kids in our program that it would be awesome for our fans to get to know those guys and see faces, and I think I'm looking forward to that happening this fall, hopefully.
All right, Xavier Smith's another guy that I like a lot. He's a character. You got some characters on that defense.
Yeah, Xavier's a big personality, and he's bouncing back and had a good spring and doing some good things. It means a lot to our defense.
Yeah. Talk about some of the other linebackers in the core.
We talked about Miles Berry earlier, who's had a good spring, and another addition we made over there is Jacoby Simpson, transferred JUCO kid from out in Texas, and just been a really solid addition there. And I think we'll see some good football out of him this fall. Taylor Jackson, he's coming along. He's one of the freshmen that played some in the fall and doing well right there as well.
All right, and your defensive backs, and every time I think about defensive backs, you think about they got to have short memories. They got to, because that to me is one of the hardest positions to play, because a defensive lineman can get his butt whipped 3 plays in a row, and nobody really knows. I mean, the quarterback's got plenty of time. Somebody's got to get some pressure on him. But if that defensive back has 3 bad plays in a row, that could be bad.
Yeah, you make a mistake back there, there's not a whole lot behind you to help you out. But you make a mistake up front, you're exactly right. Second or third level guy could make you right. But yeah, we've had some guys that they're playing really well right now. Tegan Wilk is one that kind of stands in my mind, and really I think that's more of me saying stop the run first, and Tegan's always up there to do it, and he'll fit fast and doing a good job tackling ball carries. Juwan, you mentioned earlier, doing a nice job. Sean Dorso's had a good spring. He's played a little bit of boundary safety and field safety, so it's been kind of nice to get him experience at both. And we mentioned Gerard and Jira earlier as well. Then our corners, it's nice to have some older corners back.
I'd say
Malik Fleming, Nolan Johnson, Jaquan McMillan, all those guys. I mean, and you got some younger guys coming along there as well that we hope we can grow up and start playing like older guys.
And when you have a little bit of youth on your football team, obviously they'll probably get a chance on special teams. How do you guys juggle your special teams with guys that are trying to get on the first team and first teamers that will be on some special teams?
Well, you want your best football players on special teams, no doubt. And sometimes when you're a second team guy or third team guy, maybe that's my chance, opportunity to get on the field, try to be on all 4 core special teams and make a difference there, and then see whatever defensive snaps I get. But that's how I'm going to contribute to the football team. And we got some guys they're doing that. Demetrius Mooney is one that we talk about every day. Can be a great special teams. He can run and hit, and we'll find a place for him defensively, package wise, whatever it may be.
And is there a guy or two that maybe say, "Hey, look, you're so good special teams wise, and we got this thing over here covered, we got this thing over here covered, but we really need you on special teams. Maybe we just use you on special teams."
Well, I think you do that sometimes. You have a guy that may be his main focus or his main role, but you also make sure you got to include him in defensively.
And Tyler Snead's one of those guys. I think he could play on every special team that you have, but you can't afford to do that because you got to keep him healthy for the offense.
He could come play some defense too.
That's right. He could play. Would he play corner or safety? Corner?
He could play linebacker if he wanted to. I think Tyler Snead could do a lot of things.
I think you're right. He's fun to watch, and I hope we get to see him play for a long, long time. We've got the defensive coordinator of East Carolina, Blake Harrell, live in the studio with us again. We're taking your questions, comments on our Facebook Live page. We talked a little bit about the Appalachian State deal, and you mentioned the fact that you guys, when you get together in August, you're also looking at some other teams in that first month of the season, and especially when you have Navy on the schedule. You're always looking at Navy.
Yeah, so last year what we did was we always practice Navy every day and just kind of go ahead and teach those fundamentals, teaching that process, not only for our defensive players, but for our scout team looks as well. So we had some type of Navy practice, some type of Navy period. And then you always kept in mind, like, hey, here's our first 3 or 4 opponents. Hey, this is going to be tough when we get to week 2 or week 3. Let's make sure we practice a little bit of this, whether it's a special look, special play, whatever it may be. Let's keep that in mind. So we're developing those fundamentals. That way when you get to that week of practice, it's not new to them.
And Pirate fans remember the Navy game, and really, we have seen some really disappointing defensive performances against Navy, but this past year against the midshipmen, I thought you guys did a great job.
Yeah, like you said, your definition of great job and mine's different.
Right. Well, I'm just comparing it to some of the other ones.
Yeah, I think our kids would play really, really hard. And there was a few snaps in that game. If we can take those away, then I think we've had a really outstanding performance against Navy. So that's our goal. That coming this fall is to take those snaps away and make it a low-scoring game for them.
And when you play Navy, you're not just dealing with a different type of offense. Really, the main thing you're dealing with is a different type of blocking scheme. Isn't that right?
Yeah. So it's just a different look. I mean, it comes downhill at you so much faster maybe than a traditional shotgun offense.
Yeah.
We call the shotgun offense traditional now. Yeah, it's changed over the years.
That's right.
But yeah, you got to get used to, hey, this is what you're looking at. They're going to run the balls 60 times versus somebody throwing it 60 times. So it definitely changes, how you approach the game.
When you look at that first month of the season, what are some of the other offenses that you see when you think about some of those teams like South Carolina and that kind of thing?
Yeah, South Carolina is going to be an interesting dynamic there to see exactly which way they go. New coach. I mean, the OC there now was at Temple a few years ago, so we've already pulled out film and watched when he called the plays at Temple. Last year he was with the Panthers and with Joe Brady, so does he take some of that and incorporate it to their offense? So it's going to kind of be neat to see which way they kind of head with that.
And when you're trying to deal with that, you're looking at things from the past, and then all of a sudden when you get into the first game and they play a game, then all of a sudden you're looking at that particular tape, because that's more exact of what they've done because they just did it, but still they can still go back and get some of that old stuff.
Right. So you're taking everything he did at Temple, everything when he was the head coach at Tennessee Tech, everything that the Panthers or Baylor may have done in the past couple of years, and putting all that together and preparing for all that. And then you see game one, you say, okay, this is the direction they're kind of heading, but you still got to keep in the back of your mind that he could definitely go back to those things he did before.
I would say calling the plays on defense, to me, it looks complicated on our end. Is it complicated for you guys, or is it just basically you're calling out your formation and then whatever thing goes after that? What all goes into a play call from your end?
Well, I like to think that it is complicated for the offense.
Right.
I like to keep it as complicated for those guys as possible, and the OC and the quarterback and the O-line, just to try to create some confusion and slow them down a little bit. But for us, we try to keep it very simple. Just, we give them a pre-snap look, maybe a post-snap look, and then go play the defense from there. So, I don't think it's complicated at all.
Yeah.
If I can handle it, I know the players can.
And the players handle it well. Were you pleased overall with your first year? And when you look back, I know, as you said, what we think is good. You're hands-on, and you really want to make everything perfect. But overall, were you pretty pleased with the defense?
Well, I think as a football coach and as a coordinator, you always are looking for perfection and striving for perfection. And you go back and you don't necessarily look at, hey, the things you did well. You look at the couple of plays at Navy or the couple of plays at Tulsa, the here or there, that, hey, if we would have done this a little bit better, done that a little bit better, we take away that off the board or this touchdown away, and that could have been the difference in the game. So those are the things you focus on as a football coach is the bad, not necessarily the good.
That's how coaches are.
Yeah, but I think as a program, as the energy and defensively where we are, I think we're heading in the right direction. I feel good about our room, our program, and where we're heading.
Is there anything you feel like you need as far as when you go recruiting? Has it changed a little bit of what the Pirates need as far as the body type or the athlete? Or because the one thing I've always wondered about is I'll see a kid out. Jeremy Lewis comes to mind, because when I first saw him, and I forget who was recruiting him, but I saw a skinny kid running around making plays. Yeah. But I was like, how do they see that he can put muscle on? And Jeremy's done a great job of that, and he has.
Right. To answer your question, I think, and we talked about it a little bit earlier, I said one of the big things I see the improvement from last fall is our team speed.
Right.
And that's where we got to continuously, even recruiting or developing our kids with Big John in the weight room, is work on speed. and to make sure we can put the fastest players on the field and hopefully be faster than the other football team.
And the old adage is you can't coach speed, but you can tweak speed a little bit to make that speed a little bit faster, and that's what Big John's job is.
No, correct. You either got speed or you're chasing it, so one or the other.
You got speed or you're chasing it. All right, we're going to take our final commercial break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up this edition of the Brian Bailey Show with Blake Harrell, defensive coordinator at East Carolina, and that's coming up after this.
Seared Chop House is Greenville's newest restaurant and the city's only true chop house. We combine a remarkable menu with an unrivaled atmosphere. Seared, a quality-driven experience highlighting a thoughtful approach to locally sourced ingredients and hearty, flavor-rich cuisine. We're firing up the grill at Seared, Greenville's only true chop house. Come see us, Fire Tower Road at Bells Fork or SearedChophouse.com.
There's no better time to drive away with a quality pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Greenville Auto World. Greenville Auto World is your authorized rough country dealer. We specialize in lift and leveling kits along with custom wheel packages. Whether you're looking for ground clearance or enhancing the appearance of your vehicle, trust our team for your off-road experience. Greenville Auto World, 3840 South Charles Boulevard across from Hardee's at Bells Fork or online at greenvilleautoworld.net.
Hey, Eastern North Carolina, this is Miles Minges. And this is Landon Minges with Minges Bottling Group. We are proud to announce that Pepsi is once again the official soft drink of the ECU Pirates. That's right, Miles. Our family's purple and gold roots run deep. From founding members of the Pirate Club, alumni, and even a team physician, our support over the last 60 years has never wavered. We are Pirates. We're excited to be back at ECU and are honored to serve our great customers throughout Eastern North Carolina. Not only is this the birthplace of Pepsi-Cola, this is our home. Cheers, Pirate Nation. I like the sound of that. Support local, drink local, stay safe, and drink Pepsi.
Wait up. Papa John's has a new stuffed crust? Oh, we did it. All our tweets, DMs, and carrier pigeons worked! This ain't just stuffed crust. This is Papa John's crust. Stuffed.
Hey, Pirate fans, order the new Epic Stuffed Crust One-Topping Pizza for only $12. The new Epic Stuffed Crust Pizza is an MVP move for game day or any day. Place your order online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, the official pizza of the ECU Pirates.
Find yourself working from home or at least spending more time there? Want some remodeling for your house or a fresh look? How about a new deck or screened-in porch to add livable space outside? Don't know who to call? Well, you do now. Call the professionals at R&R Remodeling. They've been serving the local community for 15 years. Ronnie and his crew can help you today. Call for a free quote, 252-286-4119, or visit R&R Remodeling on Facebook. R&R Remodeling, construction you can count on.
Hey Birdland, Orioles 2021 single game tickets are on sale now at Orioles.com/tickets. Tickets are flexible and affordable. Individual tickets start as low as $15. Purchase your single game tickets and choose from popular promo dates, including the Memorial Day Beach Towel and more. Plus, to make sure your experience is worry-free, we've introduced enhanced game day health and safety protocols. Capacity is limited, so select your dates and purchase tickets now at Orioles.com/tickets.
This is ECU assistant football coach Roy Tesh, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back on this Monday for The Brian Bailey Show. Blake Harrell, defensive coordinator at East Carolina, live in the studio with us. High school football moves to round 2 of the state playoffs coming up on Friday night. Pitt County teams are out. Rose was the only Pitt County team to make the tournament, and Lee County came to town, and that was a good football team. Rose played fairly well, gave up too many big plays, so the Rapids fall out, but still some great matchups. Some of the teams to look for, New Bern, the Bears, and 4A play at Southview coming up this weekend. Havelock, undefeated on the year. They go on the road to play at Northwood. That's another one of those crazy things with the way they did the seedings. Havelock's undefeated. Northwood has 2 losses, and they get a home game, but that's just how the seedings go. Southwest Edgecombe goes on the road. Washington's at home this week against Croatan and the Cougars. That'll be a good matchup for us, but I can mention all these games, and the only way you can see anything is if you watch Touchdown Friday and get the highlights because you're not allowed to go because of the...
I'll be tuning in.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We appreciate you getting out there and seeing that. But how How different has it been to go through a football season? Do you guys keep up with some of the guys you're recruiting, and you try to keep up with some of their huddle highlights they have and stuff?
Yeah, so you're constantly in communication with those guys. Hey, good luck for the game, and then Saturday morning or Friday night, hey, congratulations on the win, whatever it may be. And like you said, just watching through huddle is really the way you kind of keep up with it and checking out their progress through the season. So it's been nice. It's been in the spring where you're not involved in the season yourself,
right?
So you can pay a little bit more attention to it.
That's what would have been nice if you guys could have gone to the games and stuff, because you were in a situation where they're playing actual games and you guys don't have a lot going on, because during the season it is difficult to recruit, because you guys are if you have a home game you can get around here a little bit if you need to, but still you want to be with your team. You're concentrating on the opponent, concentrating on getting your kids right.
Yeah, you're game planning, you're getting ready for Saturday, you're doing everything you can preparation to make sure your kids are ready to play Saturday. That sometimes that takes away a little bit from going out and seeing somebody play.
But hopefully things are getting back to normal, and June 1st is a big date as far as recruiting goes, as far as East Carolina and all the rest of the coaches around the country can get out and do things. All right, coming up this week, 1 o'clock kickoff for the spring football scrimmage. That's coming up, Dowdy Ficklin Stadium. Tuesday, Thursday, Friday practices for East Carolina. Tuesday's practice for you guys this week will be a physical type deal, probably the last real physical type practice you'll have until the spring game.
Yeah, and Tuesday's always a physical day for us, whether it's in the season or in the spring. It's been hey, let's go compete, let's get after it, let's put them in certain situations to make sure we have a good physical practice.
How hard is that during in-season play, to have a physical practice? Because the problem with a physical practice is that you can get hurt. But if we've seen other teams that if you don't have physical practices, things can go south in a hurry.
Well, and then we believe that, hey, if you don't go practice that way, you're not going to play that way. Right. And that's the way you practice is the way you're going to play on Saturday. So you got to make sure you're going out there on Tuesday and you're getting a good one in.
Physical practice on Tuesday, then Thursday you guys will go bring back the harness a little bit and not go as hard, right?
Yeah, we call it shells. Our players may not say that's a lighter day. But,
yeah, I've heard that before.
We take the knee pads out.
Yeah, that's the only thing basically, isn't it?
Really it.
And they're still, you're trying to keep them off the ground, but it's still pretty physical on a Thursday.
You're still moving around. It's live up front. You're still having a good, fast, momentum practice.
Yeah, and then on Friday you'll have a walkthrough, and basically that's just to get everybody on the same page as far as what you're going to do, because it's so complicated with formations and everything like that. So you call them out, and they run out and walk through what they're trying to do.
Yeah, you kind of make sure you got guys in the right spot if you're calling out special teams or whatever it may be. And defensively, hey, all your adjustments, all your checks are set to go. Offensively, probably the same. And make sure you treat it like a Friday night and you're scripted and ready to go for Saturday.
And Saturday, the spring game, we don't know the format as of yet. There are a couple of options. One option you can have is have the offense go against the defense, and I believe that's how it was 2 years ago. You score different points for different things. If you hold them on downs, you get points. If you cause a fumble, you get points. And the offense obviously scores touchdowns, extra points, that kind of thing. Or the other way to do it is to have some type of draft, and then the guys pick their players and go at it that way. I think that's intriguing.
Yeah, there's definitely a different couple ways to do it, and I think been a part of either way. I think both worked really well, and at the end of the day, you want to see kids go out and compete and play their best football at the end of the spring and have a good time with it.
It used to be steak or beanie weenies. What's the deal this year?
Have you heard? There's a winner's dinner. Hopefully, I'm on the good end of that. So,
have you ever had to have the beanie weenies? And do they really make them eat beanie weenies against the steak, or is it kind of just said like that?
Usually. At the end of spring, the defense, they're kind of going against that same offense for 15 practice, so they get a little ahead of the offense there. But, knock on wood, like you said.
Like almost cheating, isn't it?
Last Saturday, this Saturday, two different plays.
Yeah, things can change in a hurry, can't they?
No question.
Yeah. Tyler Snead may get loose on you, boys.
With our offense and the playmakers we have over there and playing at a high level, then you got to make sure you get you're ready to play and you got your hands full all the time.
I said the other day that Holton looks thinner, and I didn't mean it thinner. He looks sleeker, I think. He's a big man.
He is moving really well.
And he's moving well, yeah. And I think that's a key. And I'll ask Donnie this next week we're supposed to have Donnie Kirkpatrick on next week, but having him run the football, to me, it kind of puts a doubt in the defense, because you've got, if he's running the ball well, and those other two that can definitely run the ball well.
Well, mobile quarterbacks, create problems for the defense, whether it's in the quarterback run game or just, hey, you drop back to pass, it's not there, and they take off scrambling, then you got to account for them. We had a play the other day where, Xavier Smith's got to make a decision. Am I taking the running back here and plastering him, or am I going to add on and take Holton? And Holton made him look, made it a really good decision, a nice play on it, and it was a positive play for the offense.
Yeah. How much do you like being the defensive coordinator at East Carolina? You got a smile on your face. You're fired up. I mean, when I have you guys on, it's like a personal pep talk for Pirate football, and I can tell you're ready to go.
No, I've enjoyed every second I've been in Greenville, every minute, and we talked earlier about the families loving it, and really just fired up about our kids and enjoying every day and our program. It's been really a pleasure to be here.
And you really haven't had a chance to see East Carolina and Greenville in its glory on a game day, and hopefully you're going to see that this year because all the tailgating that goes on, people love Pirate football. We get a winner on the field, and the crowds will get bigger and better during the year, and I think it's going to be an outstanding season.
Well, I'm fired up about the fall, and just fired up to finally have fans in Dowdy-Ficklen and Pirate Nation, see fans face to face instead of through a Zoom, all that good stuff. So I'm really stoked about that.
It's really been different watching games and without fans. I mean, even when they pump noise in and stuff like that, it's a completely different deal.
It is.
Yeah, we're going to get back to normal one of these days, that's for sure. Coach Harrell, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate your time and look forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Definitely. Thanks for having me on.
That's Blake Harrell, defensive coordinator at East Carolina. Once again, 1 o'clock kickoff for the spring football scrimmage coming up on Saturday at Dowdy-Ficklen Stadium. That's our show for today. We'll see you back here next week on The Brian Bailey Show.
This has been The Brian Bailey Show, brought to you by
Bostic Sugg Furniture, East Coast Grading, Angus Grill, Greenville Auto World, Papa John's, Pepsi, Seared Chop House, Taft and Hagler, and by Tiebreakers.
Join us next time for another edition of The Brian Bailey Show.